Hi. So today I thought I'd make a video similar to one I did a while ago, and it's basically explaining the meaning behind some quotes from a book. Previous one I did was Inside the Third Reich. This one is The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I actually put off reading this for forever because I thought I was going to read this big philosophy-filled book about this Chinese warlord who had been dead for I don't know how many centuries. But I thought, I mean, I'm going to study history degree. I kind of need to read The Art of War, right? So I actually looked into it, and it's surprisingly short, and it's a very easy read. It's very easy, and I mean, this is an oversimplification, but it does read kind of like a how to win a war in 10 steps. Not really, but that's the easiest way to explain it to someone who doesn't know or care what it is about. And so I thought because I mean, the structure of it is just, it's divided into different, like areas, different themes, and inside those themes, it's like some quotes. Like step one, not steps, but different things. I don't know how to explain it. And so I thought I'd go through some of those things and tell you what they mean. Even though they're pretty easy to understand, I thought I'd make a video on it anyway. So, let's get started. The first one is really, really simple. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Well, I mean, we know Sun Tzu, he liked war, but what he's really saying is that in order to really come out on top, if you can avoid the fight, that's the way to go. If you can solve any conflict without really getting into fighting, wasting resources, wasting lives, well, that's the way to go. You need to preserve what matters most rather than just fighting needlessly. Another one is appear weak when you are strong and strong when you are weak. The weak when you're strong part, there's actually another quote in The Art of War that's similar to this, and it's basically saying that you should appear weak so that your opponent becomes overconfident and says, hell yeah, I'm going to defeat you. And so overestimates themselves and underestimates you, so then you win because they do not know your full capabilities. And then appear strong when you're weak is really to not appear, not show any weaknesses so the enemy doesn't see that they have a way to defeat you. If you don't show any weaknesses, it's going to be hard to find a way to defeat you. But if you do, it's easy. So, yeah. Then there's one that it doesn't really. It doesn't. It's from The Art of War. It's in the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. This doesn't only apply to war. This applies to any kind of political situation, but mainly, really any situation, but especially politically. There's always going to be someone who, when there's chaos, when there's a power vacuum, when it's really chaotic and people don't know what to do, is going to take the opportunity and rise to power. Wolsey did that with Henry VIII. And there's always going to be that one person, so why shouldn't that person be you? If you see that everyone is losing control and you know how to take control, take it. You're going to win that way. So why not? And then this one is relating to the first one I said. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. I don't know if you've seen, I can't name specific movies, but it's definitely in a lot of movies. The good guys always We should try and solve this diplomatically. We should try and, sort things out. We should try to calm down. Well, the bad guys are always, oh, war, boom, boom, kill everyone. There's a quote, I forget which movie. Every time someone tries to win a war before it starts, it always goes wrong. It's something like that. So what you should do, this says, is that you shouldn't try to defeat your enemy before the war even starts, or even have a war. Just solve it diplomatically, be calm, be rational about it, and there you go. And if you win that way, you come out on top, because you showed that you don't need conflict to solve a situation. But if you have a war, it's not like you come out on top. You may not. It's that the other person loses because the only way they thought they could solve this is by killing people. Another one, that is, there is no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare. What it really is saying is that there is no need to have a war. They keep on dragging on and on and on and on without any real need. This, the reason I think this is because you've probably been following the situation in Afghanistan right now. The U.S., kind of like in Vietnam, but the U.S. just pulled out their troops after 20 years. Or almost 20 years. It was around 9/11, 2001. And Biden, in an interview, in a press conference, he said, I'm not going to lie to you and say that if we stick out a little longer, we may be able to win, because there's no need. We've been there for 20 years. We haven't achieved anything. We should leave, because there's no point in just staying there. And I have to agree with him on that. If you stay there for a siege, for a war, and it keeps on dragging on and on and on, and nothing's really happening for either side, there's no point in continuing fighting. Just call a war, and that's it. Boom, finished, victory, or tie, or whatever. This is like a weird one, not weird, but abstract one. Move swift as the wind and closely formed as the wood. Attack like the fire and be still as the mountain. This is a more elemental idea. Move swift as the wind. What does that mean? Well, it means that the army has to move quickly and silently, so it's barely noticeable. Closely formed as the wood. Wood is closely formed, it's quite solid, doesn't break easily. So in a military formation, the closer together you are, the more stable the formation, the harder it is for the enemy to break. So, voila, be strong and stand your ground. It's going to be easier. And if you're doing that, you move quite quickly, even better. Attack like the fire. That means be fierce. That means go all out. Not just hurt some people and then leave. No. If you're going to attack, you're going to attack in a good way. You're going to attack well. You're going to go for full destruction. There's no halfway. So just give it your all. It's going to be better than if you just hold back. The enemy may take advantage of that. And then the last one, which is the weirdest one, I think, is and be still as the mountain. That's kind of stand your ground. It's kind of like this, a closely formed as wood, not really. Stand your ground. Do not go over your head. Do not. If you're clearly outnumbered, you don't know and you don't think you're gonna win, don't attack. What's the point? If you're gonna kill men, just don't. Because you're sending men to their deaths. Now this one is quite cool. When the enemy is relaxed, make them toil. When full, starve them. When settled, make them move. This really reminds me of the Revolutionary War, really. And it's just keep your enemy uneasy. Don't let them get too comfortable. Don't let them. If you're in a war, you're in it for the win. So don't let them have time to regroup. Don't let them get comfortable. Don't let them have time to plan. Keep them moving on and on and on constantly. If you see the enemies relax, they're not really worried, make them worried. Make them suffer. Make them act irrationally. If they're full, have a lot of resources, take them away. Voila! Keep them for yourself. When settled, make them move. Keep the enemy moving, so they have to spend their time moving from one place to another with all the equipment rather than hiccup, rather than settling in. I think that's really what it's saying. And I mean, he has a lot of avoid war. If you seek war, I mean, it has a lot of try not to go into a war. And I think we'll end it with this one. It's not really a huge one, but I thought I've told you about quite a few, and it's he who is prudent and lies in wait for an enemy who is not wholly victorious. So what that's basically saying is that do not be impatient. You need to wait for the exact moment to attack. If your enemy is kind of, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just gonna be here and go there and blah blah, well, they're not as being exactly careful, so it's easier for them to attack. But of course, you need to wait for the perfect opportunity to attack, and that's where you need to be cautious and prudent and patient. So you're patient, you have a bigger chance of winning a war than an enemy who is not. And that's it. I'm gonna leave it there. The quotes, they're all from The Art of War. I got a selection of quotes from Goodreads, but they're all in The Art of War. And honestly, you should read it. Don't take my word from it. Take reviews. It's not a fantasy book, okay, but it's still one of the best books in terms of military history, and a must-read if you like history. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it interesting, and yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.